All right, what's up everyone? Duquesne23 here with Forge Hub, and today we're taking a look at a Blood Gulch remake. I know some people don't like seeing remakes, but Blood Gulch is iconic, and I always love like seeing what people do with it, like changing it up a little bit and things like that. So let's just go ahead and immediately jump around and start looking around this map and looking at all the details and the changes that they did make in this iconic map remake here. So just from the start, I love what they did with the teleporter here, trying to make it look, you know, somewhat like the original, but, you know, a little bit different on there. I love also the overgrown bit on this base here. They did a really good job of just, you know, making it seem overgrown, but not too much. You still got that Forerunner like type of look, and it's real clean on the inside here, which got the weapons and everything. And of course this works with all the normal game modes and stuff, and it's of course a BTB map. We got ourselves some Banshees, we got race, we got all sorts of vehicles here, so we're gonna go ahead and drive some of them around just so we could get around this map, because this map is huge. So we're gonna drive around. Love the other things like this, like adding some water and some vegetation. That looks really nice. They did a great job of just putting vegetation. Another thing that I thought was real interesting is that they pretty much did this entire terrain as like that dirt and everything, the dirt texture and stuff. But then they added they did a little bit of the what do you call it? Like the detail, the moss look on there, but mostly they just kind of flattened out vegetation and spread it all around. And that's what forms the grass and stuff. So the terrain itself is not like green or anything like that. They just did it with extra vegetation around it, which that's really smart. I think it worked out really well, and it looks really good. So let's go ahead and drive around, check out, make sure all these hills and everything are nice and smooth for Warthog driving, because this is a BTB map. So you got to make sure the driving is nice and smooth. And I love what they did here. They did the kind of the classic the wall here in the backside of it, but they of course upgraded it a little bit and make it look a little better besides just a flat little wall like what it was in Reach. So let's go ahead and keep going, looking around here. Let's say, how about we drive the normal route here across the middle, you know, through here, just make sure everything's smooth, and then we'll go check the outside areas. So nice little jump there. Everything is just butter smooth here. They did a really good job. Look at that, all the way over to the other base. Did a really good job of making sure that this entire thing was extremely smooth here. Now we got to of course test. We got to test and see if you can drive the Warthog up this cliff face right here. Oh, look at what they did here on the cliff face, adding all the rubble and the dirt and everything, decal type stuff on here. They really great job of making it look like, you know, this is like carved out. This little pathway is carved out. They did a great job with that here. So let's go ahead and move around here. Good. Again, this looks fantastic with all the rock rubble and everything down here. Really good job with that. So, yep, it looks like you got your classic teleporters here as well. You know, that they made for this side here. Getting some grapple and stuff. It's some modern equipment on here, which is really nice to be able to see. Now let's go ahead and head over into the cave and see what the cave looks like. Let's drive the Warthog in there, because you got to be able to fit the Warthog in, which really great job of having the entrance. Oh, I love the algae and stuff growing from the top. Good job with that there. This cave looks fantastic. Like I remember, oh look, a little mushroom spores or something on there. I remember, making this type of thing in Halo 5, and of course you don't have this much detail. You don't have all these little rocks that you can put down and stuff. It's just crazy, just from Halo 5 to Infinite. The advancement in Forge. That's why I can't wait for the next game, especially since it's on Unreal Engine. Then Halo's future is on there, so I'm really excited of possibly being able to make it like UEFN, where it's like almost a full-on dev thing. And I hope they do have a more simplistic version, maybe for console users, so that way people could just kind of have fun and throw some things out. Awesome, you're able to make the Warthog drive through there completely. Good job on that. And it was actually pretty smooth too. So, but yeah, like what I was saying, I hope they do make a console version that's a little bit more simple, kind of like what Fortnite does with UEFN, and then also their creative mode. The creative mode is the thing that's on console, and UEFN is a more powerful version, and that's on PC. That would be nice to be able to see something like that with Halo in the future. Really great job with just absolutely everything here. It just overall just it all looks great. All the details in the vegetation. I love also all the trees. That is one thing that, you know, it kind of helps out Blood Gulch a little bit, because Blood Gulch is a very sniper heaven, you know, because it's very open. So the trees actually do block line of sight on some of the things, so that is also really nice. So it kind of helps some people out who are, you know, having to run across the middle or anything like that. Let's go ahead and go through the teleporter to see how that is. Very nice, just coming out, and you don't come out all weird and turned and stuff like that. So they did a good job with that. I just love all the vegetation that they have here, and of course the background. I love that they placed it where the, you know, Halo ring is right there, as well as, you know, I don't know, maybe we need to drive a mongoose around and go look at the other side, because I looked at that whenever I was, you know, just checking out like all the B-roll and everything like that. It looked really good, the background aesthetics, you know, on here. So let's go ahead and real quick just drive the mongoose to have it bumping around like crazy, because the mongoose can't handle little bumps. But look at that. Look at the aesthetics that they put here. You know, really great aesthetics, just having it on the outside there. So let's go ahead and now check. Oop, watch out. Excuse me. Now let's go ahead and check out this side, because there is a little spot over here. See the mongoose, just like a little bump and it goes flying. And not in a good way. Not in a good way. It's not like Halo Reach or Halo 4 style where you go flying in a good way. But yeah, these mongoose, Halo 5 and Infinite's mongoose, ooh, it's rough. But yeah. Look at this aesthetics right here. This looks real nice. Just adding a little something onto here. Oh, look, there's a little tower shooting off. That's cool. But yeah, just adding a little something onto the aesthetics on the outside of the map. Just make it feel like you're actually in the world of Halo. So this is really cool. Fantastic map. You can, of course, come check this out. The bookmark link will be in the description down below. And be sure to subscribe for more, you know, map walkthroughs, checking out all the details that these forgers create, because they put a lot of time into these maps. And I will see you on the next one. And remember, let's forge a new Halo.